Easy people, welcome back to my channel at Big Steve MCFC. Sorry, it's been a while. Been about 3 weeks, I think, since I've uploaded any videos on here. A lot's been going on. Obviously, there's been no football, club football. So usually is the time to have a little break off the channel, but not been too well. Nothing to be concerned about just yet. But yeah, I wasn't up to it. I've been in and out of hospital for various things, but I'm getting there. And like I say, I'm trying my best to upload. I've been doing bits on the Big Six channel when needed to, but I'm just finding it hard to get the time, you know, family life and work life, and trying to get to get to record stuff. You know what I mean? Obviously, in the international break, there's not a great deal to talk about. But what we wanted to talk about today was the ticket issue that's just been announced by the club, that they are partnering with the biggest ticket touts in modern day football via GoGo. For a number of weeks now, there's been an issue between the club and the fans over tickets. You know, we've seen incidents happening at the ground, whether it be Real Madrid fans in our own end. We've seen Liverpool supporters in the South Stand getting attacked. We've seen Manchester United supporters in the home end being attacked. We've seen fans who have sold the tickets for face value to friends and family over the internet be banned, receive letters saying they've got to go in front of a ticket committee, etc., etc. So the ticket situation is a mess, and still is a mess. The City Matters group, who are supposed to represent the fans, have been lobbying for a meeting with the club for several weeks. It's fell on deaf ears. Nobody is acknowledging them. Nobody's getting back to them. And then yesterday, as if it couldn't get any worse, Manchester City announced they partnered with Viagogo. To me, that's a massive kick in the teeth. To a lot of supporters, I think it's the straw that's going to break the camel's back. And I'm going to be open and honest on here, because I'm going to say it how it is. As a Manchester City supporter of over 35 years season ticket, I don't think I've ever felt more disconnected to the football club that I love and you love than I am now. I've always thought that Manchester City were good at engaging with the supporters. I always thought that Manchester City as a football club was the people's club, and that if there was ever an issue, we wouldn't be like other clubs. We wouldn't have to demonstrate. We wouldn't have to cause trouble. We wouldn't have to, you know, rant and rave till we get heard. I always thought that someone would reach out, and within our own community of fans, whether it be City Matters, whether it be 1894, whether it be anybody, you know, with any clout, whether it be the supporters clubs, Kevin Parker, etc., we would always sort the issue out. But I feel like at the minute there's a massive disconnect. There's a massive disconnect from the hardcore soul supporters of the football club. There's a disconnect from the true supporters that go week in, week out. I don't like to use the word legacy fans because I think it's a load of bollocks, but that's what they're trying to call people, the legacy fans. Now, you know, I'm a certain City fan of a certain age, but there's many City fans who have been going a lot longer than me. There's many City fans who I grew up going to the games with, etc., who are now giving up the season tickets. They're now not going. And it makes me sad. It makes me sad. Like, I never thought it would come to this. I understood that when Manchester City got took over, we were all going to experience massive changes, and we have. And I always thought that as long as the club stuck to its core values and stuck to, you know, what this club's always been about, the fans, then no matter what happens in the change, we could embrace it, you know. I feel like the club is creating a divide between the local supporters and the tourist supporters. You know, the tourist supporters that are coming to the ground, the Manchester City fans have got no problem with it. You know, if you want to come to support Manchester City Football Club and get behind the team, then they're welcome with open arms. What the Manchester City local supporters and the ones that have been going for years are frustrated with is it's turning into some sort of a fucking Disney attraction, some Disneyland sort of thing. Everything that we hated about Manchester United Football Club and the way they went, and we laughed at them, it is fast happening to us. And you can say it isn't, and you can come back at me in the comments and say what you want. But I'm telling you now, as a man that lives and breathes Manchester City Football Club, which is my life, yeah, that doesn't go a single probably hour of the day without talking about it to somebody. I know what's going on, and I know the feeling of the supporters. My inbox is full every day of DMs of people saying, Steve, this has happened, and I sold a ticket to my friend and I've been banned and I've done this. And Man United fans jumped up in the tunnel club and I told them to sit down and they had a go at me and I've been banned. And, you know, there's all these incidents that are going on that a lot of people aren't aware of, you know, and we need to sort it out. We need to sort it out. And a lot of people, when I'm on the ground, they come up to me and say, Steve, you need to do this. You need to do this. I have got no power to do anything, nothing, you know. I've worked for the football club. I'm a freelance supporter, and I get to work for the football club as and when they want me. Yeah, that's it. I've got no contract to them. I don't get free tickets. I don't get free shirts. I don't get any of that. I wouldn't accept that anyway. If I do work for the club, I get paid for it. I've not done any work for the club since Feyenoord game at home. I'm going to be open and honest. The club don't want me there. They don't want me there. I don't tick the right boxes. I'm a pain in the ass. You know what I mean? Sometimes I go in there and I'm against the grain. I'm telling people what they should and shouldn't do and how they should do it. They don't like it. The Manchester City fans that work in the club, I believe that genuinely they like me. They think Steve's one of us. You know what I mean? He doesn't do anyone any harm. There's people in the club that have got targets to hit. There's people in the club that have got boxes to tick. And Big Steve doesn't tick them boxes. You know, he doesn't tick them boxes. That might be the reason you haven't seen me working for the club recently. But to me, that's not an issue. No problem. I've done what I needed to do. If I never ever work for the club again, I'm very, very happy what I've done. But they will not silence me. They will not tell me what I can and can't say. And if I'm being penalised and not working for the club for telling the truth, yeah, which I know has happened, then so be it, because I will always tell the truth. There's a line. You're a club man, you're a fan man, and the fans love me and I love them. And I'll always be with the fans. That's the reason why I don't sit in the press box when I work for the club. I go back to my seat. That's why on away games when I'm working for the club, I don't sit in the home end. I go and walk to the away end. I keep my ticket in the back pocket, my own ticket I bought with my loyalty points. And I just feel a disconnect is massive. You know, last year this was getting a bit crazy with the Real Madrid. I reached out to someone at the club and said, look, you know, I'm willing to get all the emails and the messages I've got, write them all down, what the concerns are. Let me meet somebody at the football club and we'll talk about it. Then I'll do a podcast afterwards and explain what the club said, and we'll get it all out on the table and we'll iron it all out. I was promised a phone call on the Monday. That was 16 months ago. I've never had that phone call, because you know why? People don't give a shit. People don't give a shit. And at the end of the day, I never used to believe it that they wanted to phase certain fans out of the club, but now I believe it. I've seen it with my own eyes, and they're doing it. So all I'm going to say to people is, if you're thinking of giving up your season ticket, don't give it up, because you're going to give it back to the club and it's going to go into the wrong hands. You know what I mean? We need to pull together now as a supporters. We need to pull together. And it's very, very hard to be upset and angry with a football club when you're winning trophies. I get that. Last couple of seasons, we're on a journey. Nobody wants to rock the boat. But the evidence is clear, people. You look on social media, on Twitter, you look on Instagram, you look in the Manchester City groups, you look on the Blue Moon Forum, and everybody is up in arms about this. This is not a group of like entitled fans seeing their ass. This is the loyal, hardcore supporters that saved this football club when it was on its ass. This is the loyal, hardcore supporters that are out there every day flying the flag. They're the loyal, hardcore supporters that are converting people, City fans. They're taking generations and generations to the game. They're spreading the gospel. They're keeping Manchester City alive. Yeah. but they're the ones they don't want. They're the ones that ain't spending enough money at the ground. We're the ones that are going there and having a pie and a Pepsi Max, and that's it. Our average spend is what, 15 quid? They don't want me. They don't want you. They want people spending £300-400. The new North Stand has been built. We were told it was the blue wall. It was going to be about the fans and the atmosphere. It's not about the fans and the atmosphere. They knew it was never going to work. They knew the South Stand was never going to relocate over there. It's took 10-15 years to get the South Stand rocking where we are. So why would everybody move? You know, they should have come out and been honest and said, look, we've got a problem with these tourists all over the ground, buying tickets from wherever, filming the games on iPads and fucking selfie sticks. We're going to build this North Stand and we're going to make the top tier like a package deal where they can go and have a meal at Gaucho, Vermilion, wherever. They walk out and they go in there. They go in the hotel, the Radisson at the back, and whatever. That would make sense. People would understand that. But the South Stand, for me, needs to be all season tickets. And it has to be, we need to get all the fans in there that want to sing and shout. Without supporters that want to go and back the club's nothing. You know what I mean? You go to teams like Real Madrid, and the 90% of the crowd is there for entertainment, eating popcorn. You know what I mean? But they've got the team to back it. It's not like a football stadium. They've got the hardcore ultras behind the net. At the minute, the way City's going in, we ain't even going to have the hardcore ultras in the South Stand or the corners because they're driving people out. They're driving people out. And people can moan and say, oh, yeah, well, it is what it is. And this is what happens when it doesn't necessarily need to be what happens. They need to listen to the supporters. They need to listen to the fans. They need to listen to City Matters. They need to get round the table and sort it out. We're a football club, Manchester City Football Club. Yeah. Manchester City, Manchester. Yeah. It's our football club, right? Don't go blitzing over the local people that saved the football club when it was on its arse just to generate some sort of Disneyland fucking theme park attraction. Because I'll tell you this, that theme park attraction might look great when you're winning, but I guarantee when they hit a bad spot, and there's fucking empty seats all over the place because them tourist fans don't want to come and watch Man City because they don't win, then they'll be begging and coming up with both hands to these local supporters to come back and to save the club and to bring the atmosphere back and to get behind the team, etc., etc. So they've got to be very, very careful what they wish for. And I do believe at the minute, the miles off it. This board and Caldoon, etc., have done millions and millions of right things for this football club. And we're not ungrateful for that. But that doesn't mean you can shit on the normal fan. That doesn't mean you can shit on the local fans and we're going to take it because you've delivered trophies. We're grateful for that. And we've paid for that. We've paid the money. We've watched it. We've followed you home and away. We've paid thousands of pounds a season. We've done our part. We've backed you when you needed us. The manager comes out, needs a bit of a boost. We're there. The players come out, need a bit of a boost. We're there. But now we need you to speak to us. Now we need clarification on things. You go silent. You know, I, for one, have been wheeled out on every media channel in this country, from the Overlap to Sky Sports to Talk Sport, to defend this football club over 115 charges. Every day I get 115 charges. Do you not think it's draining? But do you know what? It's my football club and I love it and I'll defend it till I die. But when they can't answer a simple question about tickets, when they can't answer simple questions about, you know, car parking spaces for disabled people, etc., it's starting to get a bit fucking hard to want to stand on the hill and die for this club, because some people in this football club wouldn't give me the steam, the piss, the steam off the piss. You know what I mean? And it's sad. It is sad. Do you know what I mean? Big this football club up for years and years and years. The second we hit a bad patch and Pep's not doing too well, people are having meltdowns. And let me tell you this, a lot of the people that are having meltdowns are not the local fans. They're not the ones that are there week in, week out. It's a lot of the internet fans and the Twitter generation who are causing the trouble. The ones that have never set foot in the stadium are the ones causing the trouble. But they're the ones the club want. They're the ones that they're pandering to. Do you know what I mean? So it's very, very weird. I feel like they need to get some sort of fan representation in the club somewhere. Someone we can liaise with, someone who knows what it feels like to be in the terraces and in the club. You know what I mean? And it's just, we need a voice there. The City Matters thing's not working. Nobody speaks. The supporters clubs have got limited power. The 1894 can do good things, but I feel like if they start doing things, people will think they're causing trouble, and then the club will just want them out. But I feel like it needs talking about people. I feel like it does. So many people message me on here about these ticket situations and the way the club's going. And it doesn't feel like our club anymore. I've got countless examples of it, and I ain't going to go deep with it on here. But anyone that comes in the comments and says, "Oh, Steve, you're moaning," trust me, I've got a right to moan. Some of the things that are going on at that football club are unbelievable. They're unbelievable. And like you say, I'll always stand with the fans. I'll always stand with the fans. You know what I mean? I've always been that way. Even when I've worked there, I've said my piece. You know, I've done so many good things there and spoke to so many good people. And there's good people there. But there's also people there that don't give a shit. They'll stand in front of me and listen to me. And as soon as I walk out the door, they'll think I'm a bellend. And that's just the way it is. That's just the way football clubs are these days. But I don't know what the answer is, people. I don't know what the answer is. Do we have to start doing stuff to let them take note? You know, are they going to boycott games? Are they going to block up the souvenir shop and stop people buying merchandise to hit them in the pocket? Are they going to block up the hospitality things? These are all things that have been talked about, by the way. So this club thinks that everyone's just like sleeping well at night in the bed. They're not. There's a lot of people talking about doing mad stuff, because I guarantee it, when you poke the bear, yeah, the bear's going to bite. And don't think that the hardcore of Manchester City Football Club are going to let anybody push us out of this football club. It isn't going to happen. That's why I urge all Manchester City supporters of a certain ilk who have got a season ticket. I know you're pissed off, but don't give in. Buy your season ticket. Give it your grandkids. Give it your son. Give it your mate. Give it your neighbour. Sell him to your neighbour privately. Just don't give it up. Otherwise, we're going to end up with, you know, what we're going to hate. We're going to end up with a stand full of fucking wankers. You know, Brighton at home the other day, terrible atmosphere. Absolutely terrible atmosphere. Do you know what I mean? There's stewards now all over the South Stand. They're standing in your seat. I've got evidence of it. They stand in my seat. I'm on the end, and there's a steward stood in my seat in front of me. Yeah, and I'm not small. And when I tell him to move, he's looking at me like I've got three heads, and they're all kicking off. The other day, I tried to go in block 115, which is the next block, to see me mate for 5 minutes. I got blocked off. 6 stewards around me. Your ticket's in 117. I said, I just need to go down there, mate. I've got to see me mate about something. No. We move on. It was just like heavy-handed shit. And I'm like, it's crazy. We've got people getting in the stadium with hair clippers, cutting hair in the stand while the game's going on. Yeah. If anyone thinks that's normal in a football stadium, then you're fucking bonkers. Yeah. Because that's not normal. It's taking the piss. We've got YouTubers like from other teams like Angry Ginge and I Show Speed and all these with Real Madrid shirts on and United shirts on in our end, taking the piss. We've got that Astrid Wet, the brass from fucking Chelsea, getting a fret me bits out in the fucking family stand. You know, what the fuck's going on? Do you know what I mean? What is going on? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And like you say, the Viagogo thing is just another kick in the bollocks. There's going to be tickets all over the place for mad money. You're not going to know who's sitting next to you anymore. There's going to be no crack. You know, the Liverpool fan the other week jumped up in the South Stand. He gets battered, right? All them people that have laid a glove on him are now all banned. They've all been nicked and banned. You know, if that Liverpool fan isn't in there, them lads ain't getting involved in that. Now, I'm not condoning violence, I'm not. But what I'm saying is, if you go there and a Liverpool fan jumps in front of you, football is an emotional, passionate game. Some people haven't got the patience, or some people are nutters. So if they're not provoked, they have a nice game of football, they go home to the kids. Liverpool fan jumps up in front of them, they're angry, they're lashing out. Now the football, the life's ruined, the 3-year banning order gone, season ticket gone. Exactly what the club wants, gone. So I'm just going to say this. I stick and stand by the 1894. I'll stand by the City Matters group. I will stand by the Manchester City supporters group. Whoever needs me to stand by there. I am a supporter. Yeah. I can tell you from experience that if you tell the truth, yeah, this football club don't want you anywhere near it. They don't like the truth, and the truth hurts. And that is simple. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people at that football club who claim to be Manchester City people, who claim to be one of the fans, but they're frightened to death of losing the job. They will not stand there and say and stick up for the supporters. They will not do anything outside of what they have to do for the football club. And I get it, it's your job. And I get it, you're protecting your job. But sometimes it's not all about the dough. It's not all about protecting your job. It's about what's right. And if it costs me a chance to work at Manchester City by telling the truth, then so be it. So be it. I'm happy with that. You know what I mean? I'm happy with that. But it's not about me. And it's not about, you know, what gets done and what doesn't get done. It's about how we're going to deal with it. Before this football club gets a big crack down the middle and the divide, we need to fix it. You know, we need to fix it. We can come on here, leave a comment, oh, Big Steve's whinging, Big Steve's this, Big Steve's that. They can do all that all they want. I'm not bothered. But I actually give a fuck about this situation. I actually care about the supporters that are coming to me with these problems, saying, Steve, I transferred a ticket, I've been banned. I've got an email saying I've got to go in front of a committee. I took my dad in the Legends Lounge and I give my mate my tickets, and all of a sudden the club's seen it on Twitter. You've got the guy on Twitter, Manchester City Tickets, yeah? That guy is a great guy. What he does on that Twitter is he connects City fans with other City fans, and the transactions are all face value. The guy doesn't earn a fucking bean off any tickets. He might get a drink or a pint in the boozer when someone says, oh, thanks, you made me kid's day. There's a pint. He doesn't do any harm to nobody. And the club are on him. They don't want him doing it. They're trying to ban him. The people are grassing him. You know what I mean? It's a fucking joke. So you're telling me that Manchester City fans are not allowed to sell their ticket to their friend for face value, but Viagogo can put it on their website for 4 times the price, and that's fine because they're in bed with the club. I'm sorry, people, that ain't fine. Do you know what I mean? It ain't fine. And it's only going to get worse. You know, they didn't like it when I moaned about the ticket, the kit launch in New York. The only reason I moaned about it is because I got to the stadium at the Etihad on the day of the kit launch and they had no kit. It hadn't arrived. There was no kit launch. It looked like a morgue. And I just said, the kids are off school. You know, loads of people were saying, is there anything at the club shop for the kit launch? I'm going to take my kids down. I'm going to buy them all the kits and we're going to have a day out at the stadium and buy a stadium tour. But they don't think like that. It was all about social media and what they could see in New York and stuff like that, which is fine. You're in New York. Do it in New York. Just don't take your eye off the fans here. That's all I was saying. And I don't know. I'm just disheartened with it. As you can tell, I'm not my usual self with it because I'm getting a little bit fed up with it. You know, 20 grand a year, following a football club around. They can't even give you an answer on the tickets. You know what I mean? Nobody can even return your phone call. Nobody can even have the balls to fucking talk to you about if you're going to be doing content for them anymore. You know what I mean? You just get pushed to the side and like, oh yeah, we'll just ignore that. But when they want you doing things like Istanbul, can you do the fan zone for free? Get the fans going? Yeah, no problem. We'll do it. Can you drive to Ipswich for a documentary? Because no fucker wanted to go to Ipswich on a Tuesday. Yeah, no problem. We'll do it. But when it comes to telling the truth, don't tell the truth because you'll get blackballed and you'll be like, oh, we're not allowed to. Oh, you can't have Steve on anymore. He's rocking the boat with the tickets, or he's having a moan about the fans. We can't have him on anymore. So that's where you are. That is where you are. You know what I mean? But hey ho, it is what it is. Them people will be long gone before me. I'll still be in that south stand singing, whether there's fucking 5 people in there or fucking 10,000 in there. I'll still be there. And this is what I'm saying to you people. Do not let these people grind you down, because I can guarantee that these people are at the club now will be long gone. Yeah, long gone. Because there's that many rats, snakes, grasses and jobsworths in that club, in every department, yeah, that somebody will grass on somebody somewhere and they're going to lose the job. So I can assure you of that. You know what I mean? So we've got to keep fighting the fight. We've got to come up with solutions how we can be heard. And like I've said before, the South Stand for me needs to be our ultra section, the hardcore section. Remove the hospitality from there, yeah? Remove it. And just let's have it as a hardcore section. The Legends Lounge or whatever it is behind that net. Why not make that a supporters club so the fans can go in there before the game like they do at Ajax, etc. You can have a DJ on, you can have bars in there, you can fill it before the game with fans, and then they all flood into the South Stand ready for the game. The LED scoreboard system in that end, remove it. Put flags there, put banners there. Let's get it looking like a proper football stadium, because it's a football stadium, people. Yeah, for football. Ask the players what kind of fans they would rather have. Do they want the iPad guy there? Do they want the guy with a board that says, Phil Foden, can I have your shirt? Or Jack Grealish, it's my birthday. Do you want fans like that there? Do they benefit the game? They're only after the shirt. They stand there all game holding the thing up. They're not getting behind the team. We need that section behind that net to be bouncing. We need it to be bouncing. Whether you do concessionary season tickets in there for the fans, do it. Do you know what I mean? But we need something, because it's dying. Football is dying. And it's not only Manchester City. It's not only Manchester City. Football in this country is dying a death slowly. And we're all very, very tribal. And we all pick on each other. Oh, did you see the empty seats at United? Did you see the empty seats at Newcastle? Did you see the empty seats at Arsenal? Look at this, look at that, look at that. What we should be saying is, hold on a minute. Take a step back. We're all football fans. These owners are turning this football thing into a giant USA-style fucking razzmatazz bullshit, yeah? Look at the shit that goes on at that Etihad sometimes. You know, some of the shit that they have on the pitch and that, and you think, what the fuck is going on here? Do you know what I mean? And then Pep will be moaning about the atmosphere. It's pretty hard to create an atmosphere, Pep, when everyone's split up. You know what I mean? You've got Real Madrid fans in the home end. You've got fucking tourists everywhere with fucking different flags taking pictures. It's pretty hard to do it. Do you know what I mean? But, you know, it's just one of them things. I get drained with it because I deal with it every day. Yesterday, I must have had over 60 messages off fans, genuine fans concerned about it. And there's nothing I can do. I can come on here and say my 10 pence. Probably not going to do me any good in the long run. But so what? I'm not asked. I'm not asked. I've done my time, but there's a lot more people done more time than me. There's a lot more people that are miles bigger Manchester City fans than me. And they're the ones saying to me, yeah, I'm knocking on the head next season, or yeah, don't do away games anymore. It's fucking shite. You know what I mean? You go to Anfield and you're thinking, we need all the fans behind us. You get in there, you just know it's going to be one of the worst away ends you've ever been to, because they're all tourists. They're all tourists. We've had all them rows of Spaniards there in Barcelona shirts and all that. It's fucking weird, people. It's weird. Old Trafford next week, the derby. We need to be going there firmed up, proper, up for it. Blue Mancunians, bit of venom in our heart. We're going against United. We own one for the game. We need to be singing 24 fucking 7 on it. We need to be there from the minute go till the end. 90 minutes of pure Mancunian pride. I guarantee you it'll be one of the worst away ends ever, because it'll be full of tourists, because it's a Manchester derby. I want to go Manchester derby and sample the atmosphere. You're killing the atmosphere. You're coming here just fucking filming. You're not singing. You're not getting involved. You got half and half scarves on in the City end with half United on it. Last year, there were lads snatching them off the necks and telling them to put them away. It's weird behaviour. Weird behaviour. But it's modern day football. But that's no excuse. Do we just say it's modern day football and we let it happen? Or do we try and do what we need to do? You know, the 1894 are trying. They're trying to do things, but, you know, it won't be long before the club and them start falling out, and then we'll have no representation. The City Matters has already been tossed aside. That's a load of shit. Nobody even listens to them anymore. You know what I mean? They've got some good representatives there, but nothing's being done. Nothing's being done. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. That was just my feelings on it. It's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. It's my channel. If you don't like it, fuck off. Simple as that. Not really asked. You know what I mean? But they'll never try and silence me. I'll always tell the truth. Always tell the truth. Simple as that. Game this weekend, Bournemouth, FA Cup. It's our season, really. You know what I mean? If we get beat on Sunday, season's over. It's top 4 we got to go for. If we win on Sunday, we go into Wembley in the semi-final again, which would be fantastic because this season's not been the greatest. It's been a bit of a nightmare. So another trip out at Wembley would be good in the semis. And if we can get to the final and win it, it'd be fantastic. You know what I mean? To win the FA Cup in a season where we thought we were finished, it'd be good. Don't think there's any injury concerns. Josko Vardiol, rumours about him being injured, but I've been told it's bullshit. There was rumours about Echeverri going to Lazio on loan. That's also come out as bullshit. But we got to step it up, people. The last 2 performances, Brighton and Forest, were not good enough. We know where we are. Hopefully they've been working on things. Pep's got some ideas. We've got to start playing to the big fella up front, playing to his strengths. We know that. And yeah, we've got a big summer coming up. World Club Cup coming up. Another joke of a tournament. All the ticket prices come out. Realised nobody was buying them. Drop the prices again. You know, I was going to go. I've got the money there for it. I'd saved it. I don't know if I can be asked. I don't know if I can be asked. And that's me, who goes everywhere. I don't know if I can be asked. What am I going to go for? I'll just be another knobhead in the crowd. You know what I mean? They don't do anything for us. They don't put anything on for the supporters. They killed it in Saudi Arabia. 150 Mancs went a week before Christmas, cost us a fortune, arguing with our families because we're going away before Christmas, getting back the day before Christmas Eve. We're in Saudi Arabia. We know fucking beer, nothing to do. We reach out to the club. Is there any chance we can watch a training session or a couple of the players come and speak to us somewhere or something for us? Nothing. Then when they go out on these tours, they're rolling out the red carpet for everybody else. So this is what it is. And people might go, oh, it's Steve, the local fans are moaning. The local fans have got a right to moan, by the way. The local fans, the ones that have been here through thick and thin, have got a right to fucking moan. Because I can guarantee something. If the club ever dropped to the depths it did years ago, these fans that they're trying to pander to now would not be anywhere near the fucking place. They wouldn't be spending a penny coming over here watching that shit. But we will. And we'll be there. And we'll be buying the pies and the merchandise and picking it up on its arse and carrying on. You know what I mean? But this is it. So we're entitled to moan. So if you think I'm moaning, I don't give a fuck. I'm moaning. So it is what it is. But hopefully we'll find a solution. Hopefully the club will finally listen to the supporters and reach out, and maybe we can get something sorted and repair the relationship. Got nothing else to say on it. Got nothing else to say on the club. Got nothing else to say on Bournemouth. I'm going to Bournemouth at weekend. I'll be there Saturday, Sunday. I'm going to get behind the boys, and let's hope we can get through in the FA Cup. Leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment. See you soon. Come on, sir.